record on this. Hi, my name is Rihanna Binkley. I am the project manager for this oral history project, and I work with One Treasure Island. And this is
Chantel, and I am a former resident of Treasure Island, and I also work for One Treasure Island.
Can you say your first and last name, please?
Oh, my name is Chantel Ginochio.
Okay, thanks. And it is Monday, March 28th, and it's about 11:15 a.m. And this is for Treasured Stories, the oral histories of Treasure Island between 1997 and present. Okay, so we will just start with a really open-ended question. Tell me about the first time you came to Treasure Island.
Well, it was 2010, and I came from a program called Mother Infant in Oakland. And they said, if you want to continue going to another program, so you can finish your parole sentence on Treasure Island, then we have another program called FOTEP, the Female Offender Treatment Program. And what that was a program on Treasure Island that you could go to with your baby on parole and finish out your parole sentence. So I never forget the day I packed up all my stuff from the Oakland program and got in a van, and we drove for the first time ever. I drove on the Bay Bridge, and as we exited onto Treasure Island and we hit the curve coming around Yerba Buena, and I saw the view of San Francisco, and I just said, oh my God, what an amazing program this is going to be. And I was just captivated. I was captivated by the view and a lot of the nervousness and uncertainty of where I was headed. The view was so stunning that it overwhelmed me. And that was my first feeling of Treasure Island.
Okay.
2010.
2010. So tell me a little more about what you did once you landed, and like, how was your time spent there in the FOTEP program?
So when my daughter and I arrived, we got welcomed by a bunch of friends that I had already known from the other program in Oakland. So they were waiting for me there. So I was welcomed with warm hugs and, familiar faces. And the first thing I did in the program right away was get to know the folks that had made it and who had climbed the ladder and who were successful and on their way out. And I asked them, what did you do? When you got here, what did you do right away? How did you make this program, 100% beneficial for you and your life? Mm-hmm. And I soaked up all their knowledge. And the first thing I did was complete my classes. And then once I was able, and that took a couple of months. And once I was able to join a training program or go to school, I signed up for Toolworks on Treasure Island right away, because I was eager and ready to excel and just move forward in any way I could.
Tell me about Toolworks and what you did there.
So Toolworks is a janitorial training program, and I believe it's an 11-week program. And it's a paid program. So you get all the right equipment. They help you with buying the boots you need, your outfit, everything. They supply. The program is designed to supply everything, so that way you are fully prepared. And I would go to building 1, the big building on Treasure Island, and I would check in with my boss at 4 a.m. in the morning. And we would begin to clean every office in building 1. And I learned how to use the right chemicals, what not to mix. We learned, how to properly clean an office, where to start, where to end, and how to time management. We got to get in there and clean this building before, folks start work. So, and then everything about janitorial service, I learned. And I had the goal of, okay, I will become a janitor, and I'll go to UCSF and be a janitor there and work my way up to being a supervisor, manager. And, in my mind, I thought, okay, I'm going to make this work. and I can be a janitor and become really successful. And so that was my goal. Not, just kind of going with this path of what's in front of me and how I can make this training beneficial in my life. While I worked there, I completed my training, and it was like a week before my graduation that there was a desk that I was cleaning that the lady had, she had a lady there that was working as the receptionist / venue person. She had quit. So there was a job opening. And I asked, can I apply for this job? And the Jobs Now program was going on, where if you wanted to hire employees through the Jobs Now, they would pay you, but then you'd get reimbursed by the government. And so Wine Valley Catering was a caterer in building 1, the desk I was cleaning. And so they were, once I applied, they hired me through the Jobs Now program. And I had 6 months to prove myself and to show I could be, a good worker, responsible, on time, and just someone that you would find, would pick it up and be an asset for them. And after our 6 months, they were happy to ask me to stay for good. And so I was the facility manager. And what I did is I took folks on tours and showed them all our lovely venues on Treasure Island. We had the Pavilion, the Casa de la Vista, and the Chapel, and Building 1. So those were all my venues that I managed and took care of, and took folks on tours, and made sure that they were being cleaned on time, and they were my responsibilities for everything. So I worked for Wine Valley Catering while still in the program at Walden House. So my daughter would get babysat at the program, and then I would go to work every morning. And I did that for 6 months. And then I completed my parole sentence. So I graduated my program. And then once I did, then I was able to rent a unit on Treasure Island through the John Stewart Company. And that's where my daughter and I moved after FOTEC. So I still remained on the island, and I was working for Wine Valley Catering.
Wow. So what year was that?
That was, I would say, 2002 to 2006.
Okay. That's amazing. So you stayed renting on Treasure Island for 4-ish years, 5-ish years?
Oh no, I stayed renting for Treasure Island since almost for 9 years.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Yeah, I rented for
Wow.
9 years.
Okay.
From the John Stewart.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your time living on the island, so that whole time you were living on the island, you were working at the wine catering?
I was working for Wine Valley Catering.
Wine Valley Catering. Okay.
But that was only for 4 years. Then they closed down their business and retired, and they didn't sell to anyone else. So everyone working for their company had to find another job.
Oh no.
And I was terrified because I was comfortable in what I was doing, and I was brand new to society, and just coming out of prison, coming to a prison program, and then another program to better myself, and then finding this job. And then here I am 4 years into it, and they closed down. So I reached out to folks I knew, and I came to One Treasure Island. Back then it was tie-dye. And I asked them, hey, I need help with looking for a job. So I got a temporary job on Treasure Island with the winery SF. And they let me work there until I found something that was more up my alley. And so then from there, I moved to a company called Above and Beyond Catering. And when I came to that company, I was, I told them, hey, I can I can answer phones, I can file things, I can clean your desk. I have all these skills, hire me. And he said, no, I'm sorry, we're only looking for a salesperson. And I thought, oh, a salesperson, no way. I could never do that.
Mhm.
And he said, you know what, come in, let's talk and let's see. After sitting with him for a couple hours, he told me, you're a salesperson and I'm going to hire you. And I was like, okay. And so I tried it. And from there, I was there for about 3 years. And then I moved to another catering company. And I was with Day Darme for 4.5 years. And for the last few years, I've been a director of sales for catering.
Wow.
So yeah. Mhm.
That's amazing.
It's pretty amazing. And everything that I have gained and learned is all from Treasure Island.
Uh,
When I came to TI as a baby, new in society, trying to just learning on, how to be a productive member of society, and never had a bank account, never did my taxes. I was so just fresh and newborn to the world and how to be, responsible. I utilized everything on the island. Everything the island offered got me stable and prepared for the real world. And I never forget going to one TI and getting my taxes done by Shannon. And we sat down and I was terrified because I'd never done taxes and I had little jobs here and there. So we did we did my taxes and I actually got money back, which was awesome. And then every year I kept doing my taxes, and here we are 12 years later, and now I do I do my own taxes on TurboTax.
like a perfect little cycle story, like a
Yeah.
perfect circle. So let's go back to your time living on the island. And did you participate in the community? Like what memories do you have of the Treasure Island community during the time that you lived there?
Well, the community that we had was the FOTEP girls, the
Mhm.
women in there, and it was amazing. I was blessed to be in a time where FOTEP had a lot of love, and all the women were power hitters. And they're all going to work and finding their careers and their niches in life. And there were so many levels of stages where women were at, and we would go to Golden Gate Park and we'd have barbecues. And I just, it was a huge sisterhood and it was brand new for me. So I never knew sisterhood, and I learned that through FOTEP. That was the very beginning of me learning, how to be a part of a community and to be sisterhood, and to just thrive and follow folks and see what they're doing and be a sponge. And Treasure Island offered so much. There was so much of that going on. I guess I was so willing to accept everything that every part of Treasure Island had that I just grabbed onto everything. From the daycare, they always had events going on. So it was so fun to go over there and, have a Halloween party. And then Catholic Charities, they were always throwing events, and, it was just so family fun. And then you got the Blue Angels flying over and everyone's out there, and it was just so amazing. Treasure Island it's such a gem. And I am so blessed that I was part of Treasure Island back in the day when, when it was raw and it was what it was.
Mhm.
And there was, no construction going on. It was just an old town
Mhm.
and a lot of history and a lot of little things everywhere with a lot of little different companies and folks that are there to help you. It was the hub of programs.
Mhm.
I felt like I was in program land.
Awesome. Okay. So then you ended up getting on the board of directors for One Treasure Island. How did that happen?
So I moved from Treasure Island in 2000 and well, let's say 4 years ago. It's 2022. So 2019, I moved to Oakland and bought a home. And then as the pandemic hit, right before the pandemic hit, I went for One Treasure Island's gala and I spoke. So I was asked to come back and share my story, and I was always happy to do so. So I was invited to share my story and be a part of One Treasure Island's gala and fundraiser event in 2019. And I must have left a good taste in their mouth, because it wasn't too long until they called me and said, "Hey, we would really like for you to be on the board of directors." And when I got that call, I didn't even know what board of directors were. I said, "Oh my God, this sounds big." And so I had to call Nella right away and ask her, what is this? What am I signing up for? I was so excited and nervous. And so it was exciting joining the board of directors. And then right after that, the pandemic hit. So we never got to meet in person. It was always on Zoom. And I hit the ground running as a board of director. The advancement committee, they wanted me on there. So I had ideas, and, it was very exciting because I brought, things to the table which made me feel good. And very, strong in my position. So I was on the board of directors for 2.5 years. And while on the board of directors, I was asked to do contracting for One Treasure Island because they got a grant for $500,000 to feed the island residents. And they were so excited. This new program came, and they needed someone, and automatically they thought of me. Because I was on the board and they knew my catering background and my passion for food and just for people. They asked me if I would help them run this program. And I was so happy to accept. So it was 10 months of running the program. And I would say 8 months into the program, I was approached with a full-time position for One Treasure Island. So I was sad to leave the board of directors. At the same time, I was very excited to join One TI.
That's amazing. And we're happy to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to be here.
So what's your role with One TI?
So I am the community engagement coordinator / event planner.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to kind of switch lanes a little. What would you tell people about Treasure Island who've never been there or heard of it? There's so many people in the city that have no idea what's going on out in Treasure Island. It always shocks me.
Right. Most people don't even know Treasure Island exists,
Right.
first of all. And then they once they hear you live there, they're blown away.
Yes.
Treasure Island is a gem. It's a small little town built of community with people there who some have been there for years and that's been their home. And then there's people who have been there who have utilized all the agencies and programs and the help that is offered. And Treasure Island is built from history and historical moments and continues to grow and just change the path of the people's future in the best way. It helps everyone from, prison programs to veterans to, tax help. There's so many different agencies on Treasure Island that are here to help you. And if you didn't come to Treasure Island for that, then you came to Treasure Island for the gorgeous views, the food, the excitement, the Blue Angels, just the love that Treasure Island has. And folks come to TI and it's like going to Disneyland for them, and just looking at the view alone, it's like, you can't beat that. So yeah, so I would say Treasure Island is a magical island, and it's helped so many lives. And it's full of love and laughter. And with the redevelopment going on, things are just going to get better.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay, my last question, unless there's something else you want to discuss, so let me know. But my last question is going to be, what do you hope for the future? I know you've touched on it a little bit about how you are feeling positive, but with the development and with the population increasing by a lot, what are your hopes for TI in the future?
My hopes is that Treasure Island remains somewhat of its natural historic vibe. You know, Treasure Island has been a special place for so many, like I said. And with everything coming in, it's going to mimic San Francisco. I just hope that we can keep it the same and have that same love of programming and constant help for the people in need, and that everyone can come together and collaborate together and just get along and make this place beautiful as it creates a new habitat for everybody.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to share anything else?
No, I love Treasure Island. I'm very grateful. It's the gift that keeps giving for me. You know, I've had, like I said, it's been 13 years. I went there. My daughter was 8 months old and she's now 13. So, you know, I am forever grateful for Treasure Island, and it is the gift that keeps giving. And it's a special, special, special home for me.
Well, thank you. You did
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I'm going to push pause and then we can chat for a bit.